move on to something that Doragon's been alluding to with this Black Myth Wukong, and it's that Sony is paying attention to the handheld market after the PS Portal's shock success. Yes, shock success. I want you to rewind the tape because Rudiggz called it. He said it's a damn sexy handheld from the very beginning. And guess what? Sex sells, and the PS Portal went like gangbusters. And Doragon has one, and I don't. But
yeah, the guy who doesn't like it has one.
Yeah.
Carry on, as you were saying.
Yeah. We've talked about this previously, that Sony is allegedly keeping an eye on the handheld market, and they're looking to launch something similar to where they once were with the PS Vita. Obviously, the PS Portal has some limitations, that being it's only a gateway into your PlayStation 5, given internet stability as a factor. So what we would like to see, as the consumers are all yelling for, is essentially that handheld experience that is untethered. And
yeah,
rumor mill is starting, and people are saying, oh, maybe it's going to drop next month on the State of Play, or who knows. But in my opinion, we won't see anything like this until next console generation. The PS Portal was this console generation. But that's my theory.
Depends how they do it. If you look at the handheld market recently, Switch is king, and Switch is this versatile hybrid console. And then you've got PC handhelds like the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, the Legion Go, the GPD Win 4, and so on and so forth. There's so many PC handheld consoles out there at the moment, all built on different platforms, all running games in different ways and viabilities. The GPD Win 4 is one of my favorite aesthetically because it is just a slightly bigger PlayStation Vita, just running Windows and such. I would love to see another PlayStation handheld. The PlayStation Portable was one of the best handhelds of its generation. It went toe-to-toe with the DS and held its own. Like, neither was better than the other. They both had excellent libraries. They both had excellent implementations of their hardware and their features. They were superb little consoles. I had a PS Portable whilst traveling the world. So Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, Germany, up back to the UK. I used the PSP all the time. It was the only way that I got to game during that period, during those 3 or 4 years traveling. I would love to have something like that now that is PlayStation centric, but I've seen what they've done with the PlayStation Vita. They took this follow-up, this incredible bit of hardware, this incredible handheld device, and abandoned it less than 6 months after launch. And because there weren't so many people on it, you big AAA developers weren't releasing games for it. The reason the PlayStation Portable worked was because it had that software to back up the hardware. The Vita didn't get that software. PlayStation didn't put the monetary investment into it to bring developers on board, to have must-play exclusive games only for the Vita that would make people go out and buy one. And so people just didn't develop for it. Loads of indie developers developed for it. You've got some cracking experiences that are only on Vita, made by indie developers that were releasing games as recently as 2021 on PlayStation Vita. But we've then seen it with PSVR 2 as well, where they haven't put the software investment out there, and your third parties are what are propping that up. I love the PSVR 2. I think it's a fantastic headset, one of the best on the market, but it's not been supported by Sony and PlayStation in the software area. So if they are paying close attention
We've already
to
seen
this
how the
handheld market to do a native gaming handheld, one, it needs to be its own thing. It needs to have its own identity. It can't just be a portable PS5. It can't just be a portable PS4 and just have those libraries on it. It needs to be its own thing with its own unique interactions, its own library. Yes, some crossover would be great. Having remote play built in would be great. If it had the ergonomics of the Portal, that would be great. But it needs to be its own thing. And the track record of Sony supporting something that brilliant and unique outside of the home consoles is pretty sketchy at best. And when you've got that track record, it's going to make people really wary of buying it. The reason the Portable has sold so well is because it's only $200. It's only £200 when you compare that to the cloud players like your phone with a controller attached. They're $250, so they cost more than just this PlayStation Portal. That being so cheap is why it's sold so well for people with a PlayStation 5 already. There's been mistaken purchases of it as well. But if you've got something that's running games at a similar fidelity to the PlayStation 4 or 5 in your hands, that's going to cost as much or more than the console. And if it then doesn't have the software support, it's going to be an utter failure. So whilst they're keeping their eye on it, they need to do it right, and they need to do it soon to take advantage of it. If they wait till the next console generation, it's going to be too late.
Well, there you go. Disagreeing opinions. Doragon thinks the next console generation will be too late, and I think it'll be too soon. Only the future will tell, and chances are Doragon's right. But I move on.